Anthony, thank you for a $5 super chat. Do you think CNC milling your own carbon fiber frames is cost effective compared to buying carbon frames? No. Definitely not. The thing is, here's the thing. I was about to make an example of 3D printing, but that's a bad example because it is almost always cheaper to 3D print to your own stuff by like a huge margin than to have somebody else 3D print it for you. You'll 3D print something and it'll cost you, $2 in filament that they charge you $12, $13 for to print in a like from Brain 3D or something. But the difference with carbon fiber is that carbon fiber can scale in a way that 3D printing can't. With 3D printing, no matter what, you have one machine that is going to spend 3 hours printing your print. There is no real way to scale that up. You can try to make the machines run faster. You can buy more machines. Like, it scales to some degree. If you have one guy running a farm of 50 machines, it scales a little, but at the end of the day, if you want to print something, it's going to take 2 or 3 or more, or 8 hours or however long. And at the end of the day, you got to pay for that machine time. There's no way to really scale it. Cutting carbon fiber has economies of scale that 3D printing doesn't. You can buy carbon fiber sheet in bulk, and you can run a CNC mill, like a big CNC mill. You can run it and you can cut frames and you can scale that. And so you almost always will be able to get stuff cheaper. Look at the Source One. $25 for a finished frame. I'm willing to bet you could cut it for cheaper than that if you were to do it yourself. But the question is, do you want to buy a CNC mill, and do you want to then get it set up and learn to cut it on your own? Is that the same argument that we make with 3D printing? 3D printers are a pain in the ass to get running. It feels like 3D printers are more versatile than a CNC mill cutting frames, because with a CNC mill cutting frames, you're just cutting your frame. Now, obviously, you can do other things with a CNC mill, but if you're just talking about frames, the question was, is CNC milling your own frames cost effective? I think you're going to have to, I think you're going to have to do a lot of volume before you break even on that, because frames are relatively cheap. But I suppose, I'm talking myself around, I suppose if you did enough volume, eventually you'd break even. The other thing is, and one FPV, thank you for bringing this up, CNC mills are way more expensive than 3D printers. Like a decent CNC mill, again, I know there are examples out there where you can build your own. That's a whole nother hobby, though. If you want to buy a CNC mill, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. Yeah. The real people who have CNC mills are people who design their own frames and want to cut them themselves without having to go through a factory. But if all you want to do is fly, I think it makes way more sense to buy other frames. Yeah, that's right. Jory points out you're not going to be able to buy bulk carbon fiber sheet. So you're going to be buying carbon fiber sheet in small volumes. That's going to raise prices. If you're interested in getting into CNC milling, if you're interested in getting into frame design, then as a nice side effect of that, you could cut your own frames.